I would like now to ask Dr. Derek Iles to introduce our next speaker. Dr. Iles?
I must confess that what I thought I would have to do here is a little different from what I think I must.
Just a second. I'm gonna catch
Can you hear me without this, by the way?
Yes.
Thank you. I don't know where to put it anyway. I've been asked by SOS to introduce an important guest, Mr. Dominique Leblanc, but of course he is much better known as the Honourable Dominique Leblanc, PC, the Member of Parliament and representing New Brunswick. We hope to explain to him the reason for our disquiet, even anger, over the action taken by the Canadian government on the St.Andrews biological station, the oldest research station in the country, one going back to the late 19th century. It's even older than I am, actually. There are two specific issues that have come up time and again: that the station library be abolished by the end of next year, and that the recently established archive centre also removed, both from the lovely new specially built $50 million station, which could no doubt then be advertised as a bed and breakfast. I would first deal with the archive issue, for Mr. Dominic has a special personal involvement in this. The archive was introduced only last year to record important historical events and scientific advances that the station could be proud of, and which could be relied on by future workers to put their own efforts into its proper scientific context. It was initiated because at the celebration of the 100th anniversary in 2009, few people there had any more than very recent knowledge of the station's history. Once started, the archive was recognized as a basic element, and perhaps for any scientific establishment. Now, the central issue that I raise concerns the history of a herring fishery in the Bay of Fundy, and what became known as the Bay of Fundy Project. That a large adult herring stock existed in the bay was not discovered until the early 1960s, and it quickly attracted high levels of fishing effort, both local and from the East Atlantic. This, of course, an example of the enormous worldwide increase following the war that has led to the collapse of fisheries everywhere. And I will say, except one place. I'll deal with that later. In collaboration with the USA, it was possible to get catch control at the international level for the Bay of Fundy stock with national allocations, but by 1975, Canada was the only country allowed to fish. However, by 1975, the whole catch level for the bay was allocated to Canada. It was supplying meal industry, and specifically, incidentally, to KFC. However, in that year, there was a drastic decline of the value of fish meal, the result of finding very large new resources, and the Bay of Fundy fishermen faced immediate economic collapse, one that would affect the fishing communities of the whole area. The fisheries approached the minister, Romeo Blanc, who had just assumed the post, and who was unable to get any help from his Ottawa staff, as if that's something new. And he made a quite revolutionary decision to refer the problem back to the fishermen themselves. In effect, he said, "You are the experts. It's your problem, and you have to help us to find the solution for the problem. Although I will set up a small team under my guidance who can approach any section of government for information and with my authority." In fact, he sidestepped the whole of the bureaucracies of all of the departments, and that possibly is the best thing anybody could do at any time. Now, the minister himself, from the beginning, took a major part in all aspects of the program. He interacted with individual fishermen, two of whom he employed as experts at a very high salary, and he also attended many meetings in New Brunswick, and sometimes of very large groups of fishermen. In fact, one including all of the fishermen in the purse seine fleet in the Bay of Fundy. He mixed freely and personally, and quickly became accepted as their equal. And to this day, he is known and referred to as our Romeo, and every fisherman in this area knows that. In fact, I know of fishermen's sons and even grandsons being very proud of the fact that their fathers had met Romeo. Now, where am I? Of course, he was recognized as the finest fisheries minister ever, and later became one of the most memorable Governor-Generals. I maintain that Romeo is one of the greatest Canadians of the 20th century. Now, I won't go into the details of the program. It's fully documented in the archive. In fact, it was the first one to go in, was being presented at well-attended seminars at the station and enthusiastically received by a large audience. I can tell you the result. A fishery threatened by almost immediate collapse in 1975 survived at its full fishery capacity, still is active, and up to now has recorded a total catch of more than 5 million tons of herring, with an estimated value of the order of $2 billion, and its cost in terms of the government support about 1% of this. That's not bad, is it? This is the only such example for any fishery over the whole world since the post-war fish holocaust. And after 50 years of continuous and biological and field sampling, we have set up a complete database of carefully arranged information that is easily and accurately analysed and has resulted in biological insights of the widest and greatest value, both for management and ecology and evolutionary theory. And this is for any species of animal anywhere in the world. And all of this was organised and conducted from the station, and Romeo, in effect, adopted the station. And I'm going to have to sit down, I'm afraid. Oh, that's better. I should have done this speaking. Yeah.
Very well done, sir.
You always win. Now, where was I? Holocaust? Yeah. You remember that, do you? Now, I'll give you an example of just how closely Romeo was related to the station. In 1995, another one of these job cuts was being discussed while he was the Governor-General, and with St.Andrews as possibly the unit to go. And in all of these things, if you want to see where things go from, it's New Brunswick, and where they go to, it's Halifax and Nova Scotia. That's general, and I think it's still fine. Anyway, Romeo, as Governor-General, then made a special trip to St.Andrews, and in a public speech made it clear that he regarded the station as uniquely important in both science and management, and it did in fact survive that time. All of this and much more has already been committed to the archive and raises the question to me, should we bury the memory of Romeo? The other thing, of course, is the removal of the library. There'll be a lot more talked about that. But I would like to make this point. That gentleman there in the middle. All of this clearly originated at the top of government and is then directed downwards to all lower levels of administration. It is clearly designed to avoid discussion, debate, argument, analysis for local impact, and even comment. And it's widely known that anyone who, at any of the lower levels, who makes any comment on this is very, very much afraid that they may be one of the people to go. There is a lot of fear at that level. I think that's about all I've got to say now, except that there is a... Oh, no, I got rather a nice phrase here. In effect, no, that's a third lane. What I'm saying is that what is not allowed violates every aspect of democracy that there is. And as far as the science is concerned, it violates scientific protocol. Science evolves as a result of the choice between differences in opinion raised by new ideas or new kinds of information. And the public service supposed to act in the service of individual Canadians, may be restructured to support the ruling party. It has been regimented. You have to count the number of stripes. Now, I found this is it. Benedict sent me a little while ago as a very, very precious present a copy of the first day issue of Romeo's stamp. And this is Romeo's comment. If I am to be known for anything, I would like it to be for encouraging Canadians, for knowing a little about their daily extraordinary courage, and for wanting that courage to be recognized. And that, to me, summarized not only what he said, but what everybody should be saying who's involved in government at any level. Thank you. Oh, yes.
Thank you very much. And I don't